Hi, today we are doing the second Tosfos on Daf Chav Zayin Amid Beis. So we are now on Chav Zayin Amid Beis, and we are doing the second Tosfos Amai. Okay, so Amai is going to have in it 3 questions, and after the 3 questions we're going to have a question that Tosfos ends off on. Okay, so let's take a look at Tosfos. Tosfos Amai is really going on the Gemara. Now, also one other thing is one thing about this Tosfos is that there are 8 cases that Tosfos asks from, or brings proofs, or asks from each of these 8 cases. Tosfos is going on the Gemara. The Gemara comes along and says, the Gemara asks a question. The Mishnah says that your pater, if somebody trips on a kli, an object that was put in Rosh Hashanah, and it breaks, so he's pater, the one who tripped on it is pater. So the Gemara asks, why you pater? A person should look where he's going. And to this, the Gemara holds of this question, and therefore Rav, Shmuel, and Rabbi Yochanan, all 3 of them give a different answer. Rav says he filled up the Rosh Hashanah, and Shmuel says it was dark. Rabbi Yochanan says it was around the corner. Okay, but the question is why is he pater? He should look where he's going. Comes along Tosfos, and Tosfos asks the following question. Tosfos asks, Amai pater? Why is he pater? Iboile liune? He should look where he's going. Now, abel hach lo parach. We don't ask the following. We don't say Amai chayev b'nizko kishel chuzak iboile liune umeza iboile liune should look where he's going. In other words, the Mishnah itself had 2 questions. The Mishnah itself had 2 cases. One case is where the one walking broke the kli and he's pater, and then the second case is that where the person who walked tripped on the kli, he got damage from the kli, and we said the owner of the chavis is chayev. So Tosfos wants to know, the Gemara doesn't ask on this case number 2 of the Mishnah. Gemara only asks, why should he be pater? He should look where he's going. So the Tosfos is asking, why don't we say the same thing for the second case? The second case is, if he trips on the kli, the owner of the kli is chayev. Why can't we, the owner of the kli, say to the person who tripped, why don't you watch where you're going? Why should I be chayev? You're a man, you're responsible to look where you're going, and therefore why am I chayev? That's Tosfos' kasha. Abel hach lo parach. We don't ask on case 2, am I chayev? Why is the owner of the kli chayev b'nizko with his damage, his damage, kisha chuzak, when he gets damaged, he should watch where he's going. So k'teparashti le'el, like I explained up above. Okay, so that's Tosfos' question. Tosfos gives an answer. His answer is no. There's a difference between damaging and getting damaged. To Yosir, more yeshlo lishmar, there's more of a responsibility for a person to watch, lishmar, to watch shalo yazik, that he doesn't do damage, mishalo yuzak, and from getting damage. So when the Gemara asks a question, you should watch where he's going, the Gemara's question is only you should watch where he's going and not damage other people. But the Gemara never had a question to ask, you should watch where you're going and not get damaged. That much a person doesn't watch. Okay, question, answer. Now the Gemara asks another question. He says, okay, there's a 3rd case that we have to know, and that case is on Daf Chaf, also Daf Chaf Dalet Amid Beis. Daf Chaf, the case is as follows. It brings down that the Mishnah brings down that if somebody goes ahead, if an animal goes ahead and eats clothing, so it says Yechayev Chatzi Nezek. Rav says half damages because it's unusual. Rav says it's only in private property, but in public property you're going to be pater. That's the way he reads the Mishnah. When the Mishnah says in public property you're pater, it's going on this too. So why? We only know in public property that you're pater on shein and regel. If you eat something in Rosh Hashanah or you walk normally in Rosh Hashanah, then the owner of the animal is pater. But if the animal does something unusual, Karen, then you're chayiv in Rishus Harabim. How come Rav is saying you're pater here? Because of this concept. This idea is kol mashana. If one person did something different, he changed. For example, you left a cloth out in Rishus Harabim. Uva acher, and something else came. An animal came. Vishinabo, and it did something different. It ate clothing, which is a difference. Pater, you're pater. So Tosfos' question really is, so why did you say over here? This person left out a kli in Rishus Harabim. He did something different. It's not normal for people to leave kalim in the middle of Rishus Harabim, so he was mashana. And then somebody else came and he tripped on it, so he was also mashana. So let's apply the idea, kala mashana. If one person was mashana and he left the kli outside, uva acha v'shinabo, and somebody else did also something different, he tripped on it and broke it, pater, he should be pater. Why is the Mishnah say he's chayiv? That's the second question. Tosfos answers no. Because the gabe adam, in regards to a person, lo amar hachi, we don't say such a thing. We don't say so. We don't say this. When do we apply this concept of kala mashana? That's only by an animal. When it comes to a person, just because the first person did something different, we don't say the next person did something, is going to be pater if he changes as well. The person is still responsible for his actions, even though person number one changes. Good. Question number 3. Now there's another case on number 3 on Daf Chav Beis Amud Aleph, and that has to do with a person owns a store, a chenvani. He owns a store. Now basically what he should do is, let's say he wants it at night and he wants to put out a light. So today we have electricity, not a problem. But in those days he put a torch outside. So if he took his torch and he left it inside the store, then that's better. Because if he leaves it outside, so what happens if you have a camel? A camel has a lot of merchandise hanging off the back on both sides. And the owner of the camel walks his camel down the street, and it's a narrow street, and the merchandise scrapes against the wall. So if it catches, let's say he has straw hanging off the camel, and it catches on fire from the torch that the chenvani left outside, the owner of the camel is going to be pater. That's if the chenvani, so heniya chenvani nero mi bachutz. That's only if the owner, the store owner, chenvani is a store owner. Chenvani is a store owner. It's a good word to know. Chenvani is a store owner. So when do you say the store owner is going to be chayiv? Chenvani nero mi bachutz. If he left his candle, his torch, mi bachutz, outside, then bala gamel pater. The owner of the camel is pater. So Tosfos' question is, wait a minute, I thought you said he's being led by a person. I thought you said people look where they're going. Below Amar, and over there we don't say iboile liune, that a person should watch where he's going. Over here you're saying a person should watch where he's going, he shouldn't trip on the kli, and if he does, he's chayiv. So when it comes to the camel, why is he pater if the store owner left the fire outside? The owner of the camel should watch where he's going. To which the Gemara answers, Tosfos answers, no. When do you say a person is responsible to watch where he's going? That's the dafka b'makom halichasa. That's only in where he's walking. Amrina niboile liyonei. I guess that's right in front of him on the ground. Then a person is responsible to watch where he's going. But if it's on the air, if it's on the wall, that a person, we don't say a person always looks up and around to look where he's going. So you don't have a question. That's why when it came to the candle that the store owner left outside, the owner of the camel is going to be pater. But in our Mishnah, that you left the kli on the ground, that is something that a person should look where he's going. That Tosfos ends off uksas kashas, and that was the case of hiniach and fani nero mi bachutz. That was case 5. Okay, the Tosfos is now going to end off with a kasha. He's going to try to give an attempted answer, and then he's going to say that attempted answer is not good. Uksas kasha. I got a kasha here. Ha di amar Rav le'el. Rav is set up above. A certain case is as follows. The case is, what happens if a person's ox decides to lie down in the middle of the street? And this is where the case 6. So what happens if a person's ox decides to lie down in the middle of the street? and a second ox comes by. So if the second ox who's walking kicks the ox that's lying down, the ox that kicks the ox that's lying down is chayiv. Okay, that's the din. That's the case. If the ox that's walking kicks the ox that's lying down, the owner of the walking ox is chayiv to pay for the ox that's lying down. So the Gemara over there, why? What's the reason? Because Hadiyama Rava says over there, Liel up above in this case, is the reason why you're chayiv, because the owner of the ox that's lying down could say, Ki islach rishus l'skuye eloi. Listen, if your ox would have just walked on top of my ox and would have damaged my ox that way, I understand, because your ox has a right to walk in rishus harabim, and my ox was lying down. But why do you have rishus? You don't have rishus to kick my ox, and therefore, if your walking ox kicks the ox lying down, the walking ox, the owner of the walking ox, is chayiv. That's the Gemara there. That's what Rava explains. So Tosfos asks, Amai, why should you be putter if you walk on the ox? Amai islach rishus l'skuye. Why do you have rishus to walk on the ox? Nami, an animal also. An animal also watches where it's going. How do you know? Maybe only a person watches where it's going. How do you know that an ox watches where it's going? Because we see on Daf Nun Beis, the Gemara over there says, that's case 7, that if a normal ox is walking in the middle of the day and there's a pit and it falls into the pit, the owner of the pit is putter, because the owner of the ox should be able to watch where it's going. So it was going to give it a possible answer. You can't say you can't say that the owner, that the ox, when it's lying down, fill the entire rishus harabim, that the only way for the ox to get over it would be to walk over it, and maybe that's why to walk over it. That you can't say, and therefore that's why it's different than shor pikeach biyom. Shor pikeach biyom, it can go around, and here it can't. You can't say that here it blocked the entire ground, the entire street. The imkain, the imkain, lebuute nami is lea rishusa, because if it blocked the entire ground, then Tosfos holds, at least I'm not sure why, but Tosfos holds if it blocked the entire way, then the shore that's walking would be allowed to kick the ox that's lying down, and if it kicked, it would be putter also. By the fact that it's chayiv shows that it didn't block the entire way, and if that's the case, it's like a short pikeach b'yom, and it should watch where it's going and go around. So Tosfos asks again. I see from over there that an ox should watch where he's going, and he didn't. So why would he be putter if he would walk on the ox? He should walk around. So this is Tosfos Amai on Daf Chav Zayin Amid Beis.